Supreme Court just issued 6-3 emergency ruling Friday night, striking down every assault weapons ban in America, effective immediately. And if you live in California, New York, Connecticut, Massachusetts, Maryland, New Jersey, or Illinois, firearms illegal yesterday are legal today.
Justice Thomas, writing for majority, Thomas, Roberts, Alito, Gorsuch, Kavanaugh, Barrett, held bans fail Bruin's historical tradition test, deprive millions of constitutionally protected arms in common use, and cause irreparable harm requiring immediate emergency relief. 3 dissenters, Sotomayor, Kagan, Jackson, warned decision creates public safety crisis. Affects 7 states with comprehensive bans plus hundreds of local jurisdictions. Estimated 20 million AR-15 pattern rifles, AK pattern rifles, other semi-automatic firearms, previously banned now, legal starting Monday. Subscribe, because this emergency ruling affects every gun owner and changes laws in 7 states overnight. And understanding what's legal now, which bans struck down, why court granted emergency relief, and what happens next determines whether you can purchase firearms you've wanted, or states reimpose restrictions. 7 states have comprehensive assault weapons bans: CA, NY, CT, MA, MD, NJ, IL. Gun rights organizations filed coordinated lawsuits under Bruin's historical tradition test. Lower courts mixed rulings. Friday evening, Supreme Court issued emergency order consolidating challenges and granting nationwide preliminary injunction blocking enforcement pending final resolution. Takes effect immediately. States cannot enforce, prosecute, or seize. Gun owners can purchase previously banned firearms from FFLs Monday. Oral arguments spring 2026. Final decision June 2026. Let me break down what ruling holds, which firearms legal, which states affected, why emergency relief granted, and what gun owners must know. Number 1, what emergency ruling holds? Nationwide injunction blocks all AWBs. Court issued preliminary injunction under all Writs Act preventing enforcement of any state/local assault weapons ban while challenges proceed. Temporary relief, pending final judgment, remains in effect until court decides, expected June 2026. During injunction, all bans unenforceable. Bruin test applied. Bans fail Bruin framework. Government must demonstrate regulation consistent with founding era and Reconstruction era tradition. No historical tradition banning firearm categories based on cosmetic features, pistol grips, folding stocks, flash suppressors. Founding era Americans owned military-style firearms. First, AWB, 1989, California, 198 years after Second Amendment. Gap demonstrates bans lack historical pedigree. Common use standard, Heller protects arms in common use for lawful purposes. Semi-automatic rifles like AR-15s, AK-47s, most popular rifles, with 20+ million in civilian hands, used for self-defense, hunting, target shooting. Firearms used by millions for lawful purposes are in common use and protected. States cannot ban arms in common use. Irreparable harm, gun owners suffering irreparable harm while bans enforced. Everyday bans in effect, millions deprived of constitutional right. Constitutional violations are irreparable harm per se, justifying emergency relief. Court rejected states' public safety arguments. Constitution establishes hierarchy where enumerated rights take precedence. 6-3 vote. Thomas, Roberts, Alito, Gorsuch, Kavanaugh, Barrett for injunction. Sotomayor, Kagan. Jackson dissented, arguing emergency relief premature, creates safety risks, allows unrestricted access to weapons of war. Majority, emergency relief appropriate when fundamental rights clearly violated. Number 2, which firearms legal and states affected? Firearms now legal. AR-15 pattern rifles, M&P 15, Ruger, AR-556, Daniel Defense. AK pattern rifles, WASR, Arsenal Zastava, PSA AK-47. Semi-auto rifles with detachable magazines and banned features, pistol grips, folding stocks, telescoping stocks, barrel shrouds, threaded barrels, flash suppressors. Semi-auto shotguns with banned features, folding stocks, pistol grips, detachable magazines. Semi-auto pistols with banned features, threaded barrels, barrel shrouds, magazines outside grip. Previously banned by name: Colt, AR-15, Kalashnikov, Uzi, Tech-9. California. Roberti Roos Act banned AR-15s, AK-47s, hundreds of models by name plus features. Now, all previously banned semi-autos legal. Purchase AR-15 with standard features: pistol grip, adjustable stock, flash suppressor. Monday. New York. SAFE Act banned semi-autos with detachable magazines and banned features. Now, feature bans unenforceable. AR-15s with all features legal. Connecticut, Massachusetts, Maryland, New Jersey. Extensive lists plus feature bans. Now, lists unenforceable, features legal, previously banned firearms available. Illinois. Protect Illinois Communities Act banned AR-15s, AK-47s, semi-autos with features. Now unenforceable. Local bans enjoined: Cook County, Highland Park, Boulder, Deerfield, and hundreds others cannot enforce. What remains restricted: fully automatic firearms, machine guns, under NFA. Short-barreled rifles, shotguns under NFA, unless separately deregulated. Suppressors, unless separately deregulated. Magazine capacity limits remain. Ruling addressed only AWBs, not magazines. Prohibited persons remain prohibited. Number 3, why court granted emergency relief. Ongoing constitutional violation. Everyday bans in effect. Millions suffer constitutional deprivation. Cannot purchase arms for self-defense. Cannot exercise fundamental rights. Unlike violations remedied through damages, Second Amendment violations during time of need, home invasion, civil unrest, cannot be undone. Emergency relief necessary. Lower court delays unacceptable. Cases litigated for years. District court's trial. Circuit court's appeals, 2 to 4 years per case. Meanwhile, rights violated. Fundamental rights cannot wait years while lower courts debate historical analogs. Clear Bruin violation. Bans clearly violate Bruin on facial analysis. No historical tradition banning firearms in common use. No founding era or Reconstruction era analogs. States failed burden. When violation clear and ongoing, emergency relief warranted. Public safety rejected. States argued emergency relief creates crisis with military-style weapons. Majority rejected. First, semi-auto rifles used in tiny fraction of gun crimes. Rifles all types, 3% of homicides, vast majority handguns. Second, constitutional rights not subject to interest balancing. Third, millions of law-abiding owners should not be disarmed because criminals might misuse. Preliminary injunction standard met. Likelihood of success on merits. Irreparable harm without relief. Balance of equities favors relief. Public interest favors relief. All met. Likely success under Bruin. Constitutional deprivation is irreparable harm. Balance favors protecting rights. Public interest served by upholding Constitution. Number 4, what happens next? Injunction until final decision. Emergency injunction blocks enforcement starting immediately, continuing until Supreme Court final decision. Expected. Oral arguments April-May 2026. Decision June 2026. During approximately 12-13 months, all AWBs unenforceable nationwide. Lower courts continue. Cases proceed through normal appeals. District trials if not complete. Circuit reviews. However, Supreme Court injunction supersedes all lower rulings, even if circuit upholds ban, cannot enforce during injunction. Oral arguments. Court-scheduled consolidated arguments spring 2026. All 7 state cases plus circuit decisions argued together. Gun rights organizations, NRA, SAF, GOA, FPC, present for plaintiffs. State AGs defend bans. Possible outcomes. 1. Strike down all AWBs permanently as unconstitutional. Makes injunction permanent. Bans never return. 2. Uphold narrow bans targeting specific weapons. Lifts injunction partially. Allows limited categories. 3. Remand for fact-finding. Injunction status unclear. Litigation continues. State responses: cannot enforce but may draft new legislation attempting Bruin compliance. Impose enhanced penalties for crimes with previously banned weapons. Require registration. Increase background check scrutiny. None can prohibit possession of purchase during injunction. Number 5. What gun owners should do. Purchase immediately. Starting Monday when FFLs open, can purchase AR-15s, AK-47s, other semi-autos banned Friday. Complete Form 4473 and NICS. No special permits. No registration beyond FFL records. Take possession same day if NICS clears. Verify state's previously banned list, each state different. CA banned models by name, NY banned features, CT hybrid. Before purchasing, verify firearm you want was actually banned. If wasn't, buying now doesn't represent change. Document purchases, save receipts, Form 4473 copies, a yellow copy, bills of sale. If injunction later lifted and state attempts retroactive prosecution or confiscation, documentation proves lawful purchase when bans enjoined. Courts unlikely to allow retroactive prosecution, but documentation provides protection. Injunction could theoretically be lifted, remains until final decision, or court modifies order. Theoretically could lift before final decision, unlikely. More likely, remains until June 2026. If court upholds bans, injunction lifts and bans return. However, firearms lawfully purchased during injunction likely grandfathered. Retroactive confiscation raises ex post facto and takings issues. Know what remains prohibited. Fully automatic firearms. SBRs/SBS, unless separately deregulated. Destructive devices. Possession by prohibited persons. Violations of remaining valid laws. Brandishing, threatening use in crimes. Injunction only blocks AWBs. All other firearm laws remain. Bottom line. Supreme Court issued 6-3 emergency ruling Friday night granting nationwide preliminary injunction blocking enforcement of all state and local assault weapons bans. Effective immediately. California, New York, Connecticut, Massachusetts, Maryland, New Jersey, Illinois cannot enforce assault weapons bans. AR-15s, AK-47s, and other semi-automatic rifles with previously banned features now legal to purchase and possess. Legal reasoning. Assault weapons bans fail Bruin historical tradition test. No founding era or Reconstruction era tradition of banning firearms in common use. Semi-automatic rifles owned by 20+ million Americans for lawful purposes receive Second Amendment protection. States cannot ban arms in common use. Why emergency relief? Gun owners suffering ongoing irreparable harm to constitutional rights, while bans enforced pending litigation. Lower court delays unacceptable for fundamental rights. Clear Bruin violation justifies immediate relief. Timeline. Injunction remains in effect until Supreme Court final decision expected June 2026. During this period, 12-13 months, all assault weapons bans unenforceable. Oral argument spring 2026. Final decision could permanently strike bans, uphold narrow bans, or remand for further proceedings. Gun owners can purchase previously banned firearms starting Monday from FFLs. Complete Form 4473 and NICS save documentation. Injunction could theoretically be lifted, but unlikely before June 2026. Firearms purchased during injunction likely grandfathered even if bans return. Subscribe, because assault weapons ban litigation is developing rapidly, and I'm tracking every Supreme Court order and oral argument affecting your right to own AR-15s and semi-automatic rifles. Emergency 6-3, ruling just legalized previously banned firearms in 7 states. Understand what you can buy now and what happens next. Next video reveals the 5 AR-15 configurations that are flying off shelves in California and New York after this emergency ruling.